Greetings, I'm Solidus-Skully, and welcome back to The Simpsons Hit and Run.
Apu, you've got to help me warn Krusty about this alien plot and thus save the good people of Springfield.
I'm sorry, sir, but I cannot speak English. I only speak Hindi.
But you're speaking English now.
Yes, I learned these words phonetically.
Well, you're just scared of being vaporized by the space monsters.
Up, down, go hot dog, butter my undershirt, blah, blah, blah.
You fucking puss. Well, I suppose the stereotypical route works when you want to get out of saving the world. Anyway, let's talk to Otto. Maybe he will help.
Automan, I need a ride.
No can do, little dude. I gotta round up these other little dudes and get them to Krusty Lou for the studio tour.
That's where I need to go. Step on it, Otto.
Okay, right after I drop these kids off at Krusty Lou.
Otto, I just said that.
Alright! Stop hassling me, midget Abraham Lincoln.
Oh, I think Otto has been, smoking a bit too much of the peace pipe, dude. But yeah, anyway, to kind of go off the last part, which, again, pretty much put our obliquely obvious plot twist right out in the open, I think it is also time to talk about something that's kind of brought up a fair bit in the Simpsons, Hit and Run, well, discussion thread, because I've seen it talked about in, other commentaries, Let's Plays, reviews, and all that sort of thing, and that's also to do with a very similar episode that, South Park actually released in the very same year this game came out, with, aliens filming Earth as a reality show. I mean, there are obviously differences here and there in terms of, the sort of jokes they make, and, well, even the setting, really, because I think the South Park episode had the boys go off to, like, a weird alien executive planet where they snort cocaine and, dance with hookers or whatever, but, yeah, very similar concepts, but to be honest, I think it's more coincidence than flat-out plagiarism. I don't quite remember which came first, the game or the episode, but, again, given the fact that the episodes came out in 2003, so, again, it's unlikely that, the Simpsons production crew would have, or even Radical Entertainment, really, I don't know who was responsible for the plotting. But either way, I doubt that they would have known about the episode until it actually aired, unless there's, trade secrets being shared, which I'm pretty sure is kind of illegal. But yeah, putting that also aside, yeah, I don't think, it's also possible that South Park would have known anything about Hit and Run's plot since, well, I doubt game developers openly share their secrets either, so, yeah. Two projects having a very similar thing, more of a happy coincidence. Unless, of course, you also want to go for the South Park joke that Simpsons did it, where I think Butters started hallucinating Simpsons stuff. Oh well. Anyway, that's pretty much just all I wanted to do to touch upon a very, well, bog-standard topic that's usually brought up in relation to this game. In the meantime, however, before we go off and talk to, Barney, yeah, we're just gonna go around Krusty Lou's studios, where Krustalot is pretty much Bart's main authority figure to turn to in regards to reporting alien stuff. But really though, how much does Krusty really know? He's a spokesperson for Buzz Cola, as we saw in the ad in the beginning, but does it really give him much of a connection beyond removing a sponsorship, or is this just Bart's 10-year-old boy logic of oh, I need to find somebody who can help, and Apu isn't helping me. Fuck it, Krusty, he's my hero, he'll save the day. Even though any look at Krusty is painfully obvious that he will not help. But what about Barney?
Barney, where's Krusty? I have to warn him.
Krusty's not here, little Homer. He's down at the Squidport, doing a promo for this new Buzz Cola.
But that's the cola the aliens are using to control all human behavior.
Control human behavior? No beverage could do that. Oh no, I haven't had a duff in 2 hours. My life is over.
But I have to get to Krusty before the limo does.
And I have to stay here and go through the DTs.
Sounds like a plan.
Oh, Barney, your struggle against alcoholism was funny to me as a young lad and then became painfully more relatable the older that I got. But yeah, in the meantime though, this does actually come to a bit of a slightly bullshit stipulation because, yeah, you're technically finding the, itchy and scratchy truck in order to find the limo so that you can eventually race it to get to Krusty before time runs out. As is the typical mission statement of many hit and run missions, but the thing that I don't tell you in this round, and something that did actually lead to a rather hilarious moment in the Hellfire Comms playthrough, with Tom64 involved, is that, yeah, you can actually interact with the limo directly from your car, so, yeah, don't get out of your car, because, the moment you press the triangle button, or Y button, or whatever's, whatever console you're playing it with, yeah, don't get out of your car, because that limo immediately speeds off, and that pretty much kills your chances at winning, because, yeah, you gotta get back in your car and just try and make sure that you interact with it. Yeah, all you need to do is just jump into the circle. You can technically get out of your car and press the triangle button to interact with it, but yeah, that pretty much kneecaps you, because the level 6 races, we are on the penultimate level of the game, and they don't fuck around. You need to be in it to win it. Harness that Simpsons road rage that was once this game's potential sequel, and then just, no holds barred, no prisoners, race to the extreme, dude. Whee! Oh, what a lovely Ferrari. Actually, do they call it? I'm pretty sure it's called a Ferrari in this game, but it's weird. Maybe they had the license to some specific car models and others they didn't? Or maybe they just blew the budget on getting the Ferrari model? I don't know. Maybe they just didn't list the specific... Well, even then, they would have had to have used the name, technically, so... whatever. Car copyright mullings will be saved for another day. Let's talk to Krusty.
Krusty, listen carefully. Aliens are handing out free laser guns and cola that makes you go crazy. It'll be a massacre. The streets will be littered with lasered off limbs and heads.
Yeah, right. And I'm getting into the Country Western Hall of Fame. It just ain't gonna happen, kid.
Oh, I just gotta find evidence. Who do I know that's smart enough to prove this alien conspiracy? Bumblebee Man? Comic book guy? Disco Stew? That's it. A nerd! Professor Frink!
Lab coat caper. Hey. Yeah, it's kind of weird that we're following the hover car again, which may I remind you, while a very zippy little model like that, its handling is a little bit loosey-goosey and isn't controlled nearly as well as you as you can control it, where it's all fucking doolally and shit. Well, I mean, I guess that's just sort of the trade-off. I have to balance it for difficulty so that no one car is more powerful than the next. I don't know, it's just kind of a wee bit bullshit. And anyway, I suppose I might as well talk about another facet of gameplay that I haven't really been bringing up, nor really showing off, and that's also to talk about some hidden cars. Yeah, you don't technically see them and can access them via the phone booth, but you do technically get hidden cars per each level. The hidden car on the first stage, which is Homer's level for the first Evergreen Terrace mission, was it was a Chester A. Bum's rocket car from the Itchy and Scratchy episode, where they pretty much like had the original creator of Itchy and Scratchy end up being like this hobo dude, who was I think he was voiced by Kirk Douglas, and he was always looking for liver and onions. Anyway, the second hidden car is in Bart's level, which is the monorail. What's that name? Monorail. Say it again. Monorail. Monorail. Mono. Doll. Yeah, the car for the third level, which is in Lisa's level, is I think it's in the Knight Rider boat, which was briefly in Maggie Makes 3 for a one-off joke. Yeah, for level 4, the car that you get as mileage is the ATV, which, yeah, I think you find around about the point in Cletus's level, in the little trailer park area. Mission 5 in Apu's level, you get a monster truck, which is nearby the Truckosaurus Stadium. Mission 6, which is what we're currently in now, I believe you get like a Cadillac, which is crashed into Planet Springfield, or was it Planet Hollywood? Or is that like a real franchise thing that I'm mixing it up with? Whatever. But anyway, the point is that you have several hidden cars throughout the game, and you can't access them via the phone booth, although I believe you can if you 100% the game, which involves, you know, doing all the street races, completing all the cards, you know, making sure that you purchase all the cards necessary, and, you know, basically completing the game to as complete a degree as you possibly can. But yeah, as for what the hidden car is in level 7, we'll pretty much get to that when we get there, but in the meantime though, we've padded out for enough time, and let us talk to Professor Frink, who will make us laugh and make us think.
Professor Frink, you've got to help me. No one believes my story. It's just like The Boy Who Cried Wolf, except instead of a wolf, it's an alien conspiracy.
Aliens? Well, that would explain these strange transmissions from my plutonium CB radio. I must have intercepted an alien message. It says they're hiding the lasers in the duff trucks. Glahiven Gloivy, the plot is convoluted now.
Relax, nerdlinger. I'll knock the lasers out of the truck so I can show them to Krusty.
And so, now our mission begins. Duff beer for me, duff beer for you. Man, I could use a drink. Oh, by the way, if you interact with that little alarm thing over there, it goes silent alarm activated. Which is meant to be a hidden joke, I think, from... I think it was from the I Didn't Do It episode, where that was pretty much just like a complete pastiche of the whole Bart Mania thing, with the Simpsons having silly catchphrases. Ah, well. It's a fun episode, and by the way, that beautiful shot of the moon, just completely eclipsing the sun right there, that is... I mean, it's not an eclipse, technically, it's pretty much just a moon reflecting off the pillar of the water, which is just, bellissimo. Very beautiful looking level. But anyway, what I was trying to say beforehand is that this level looks really nice. It's nice and lovely. at this time of the evening, but the eve is going to give way to something sinister. This day is ending, and pretty soon you will be too.
Safe and sound.
Anyway, by the way, if you go into the Duff Brewery, when you're not doing a mission and you have the theme playing, yeah, you pretty much get the Duff Beer theme of Duff Beer for me, Duff Beer for you, which, yeah, reminds me of Duff Gardens. Hurrah! I still think the funniest part of that episode was when Lisa drank the water out of the fucking river. And I mean, not just for the aftermath joke where she's like, I am the Lizard Queen, but in turn for the fact that they actually did twist up the whole Duff Beer for me, Duff Beer for you theme with like a psychedelic 60s guitar rendition of the song, which just added to the hilarity of Selma and Bart just sort of mutating. I don't know, sometimes there's the simplest visual gags and musical twists that just make you laugh.
Woo, nice one. I am so
There we go. All the laser guns are finally ours. I'm kind of thinking back, actually. Like, I mean, again, I know technically the lasers vaporize people, but I'm kind of sitting here wondering, really. Like, I mean, wouldn't it be cool to have, like, some form of, like, gunplay with this? Like, I mean, maybe... Okay, maybe not, technically... I'm just trying to figure out how you could really work it in terms of gameplay. I mean, I guess you could have some rudimentary, like, basic lock-on technology, shoot enemies similar to what you had with the PS2 Grand Theft Auto games, but... just replacing, physical firearms with laser guns like we have here. I don't know, like, maybe you could take out, like, Kang and Kodos' henchmen or something, or... I guess if you really wanted to go for the whole G-Man route, like they seem to be implying, you could have the, the dudes in suits be, like, robots or whatever. Although, then again, that also kind of makes me think of Halloween 3 Season of the Witch, so maybe that isn't the best way to go, unless they pluck your eyes out with their deadly fingers.
depleting. Need sugar.
Yeah, it's weird, like, I mean, they fully model these laser guns, and it's a shame we don't really get to use them in combat. Like, I mean, we could use them to easily take out some of the bees, or you maybe could have had some, I don't know, different sort of robot concepts, like, robot dogs that shoot bees out of their mouth, or a robotic Richard Simmons. Come on, lift those bonds. Hot 2, 3, 4. Ah, well. Anyway, we need to report this to the proper authorities, so let us report to Lieutenant... Actually, no, he was a Sergeant Seymour Skinner.
No, I swallowed my gum. To the emergency room.
Principal Skinner! Aliens are distributing deadly lasers all over Springfield. We gotta warn everybody!
All we've got to do, young man, is get that illicit goo gaw out of your hands. Clearly, you forgot the school's zero-tolerance policy on lasers.
Crap. So this pretty much ends up being a waste of time. So Sad Skinner multiplied by car plus hot dog equals time? Maybe that was the result of the artwork for potential mission banners being taken down because of Fox's auditors and whatever. I don't know. I mean, I guess you gotta replace it where you can with stock artwork and bizarro chalkboard drawings or whatever, but that's just kinda weird, to be honest. Anyway, this is pretty much a filler mission where you gotta destroy Skinner, get back the laser gun, and report to Krusty so Bart can pretty much maintain his findings. Oh, well, I mean, at least we do get some pretty cool music and back and forth between Bart and his arch-nemesis Skinner, who gradually lost his edge from being a hardened Vietnam War veteran to something that now that I think about it, is gonna be a lot harder to justify as we go forward into the future. I mean, do they still have Skinner being a Vietnam War veteran, or do they, like, move it up to, like... Well, I mean, hang on, it's the 2020s now, so... I mean, I guess if they want to keep their whole floating timeline thing, they probably made Skinner, like, a veteran of maybe the Iraq War or something? I don't know. The Simpsons timeline thing is weird when they try and move it upwards but keep some things still.
This is too cool for
I don't know, it gets harder to justify when your franchise starts moving on to several decades beyond its original lifespan, but... Yeah, anyway... Moving on to, I guess maybe going back to Krusty in terms of anything else, actually. To kind of bring about a little bit of trivia, which I suppose is why Bart worships him so much, is that it was actually one of the initial Simpsons concepts, actually, and you might recognize it by based on body proportions and structure, but yeah, notice how Krusty happens to resemble Homer Simpson in shape a little bit, and that's because... Initially, yeah, Homer was initially going to lead a double life as Krusty the Clown, so that the parental figure that Bart completely disrespected and had absolutely no love for was also the clown that he respected the most, which was eventually cut from the show, purely out of the fact that Homer living a double life, having two paychecks while having the Simpsons household be in disarray, well, would lead to a bit of a plot hole. Unless, of course, Homer was also lavishly spending it like Krusty does, like burning ancient comic books and jewel beads or whatever other lavish expenses and drugs needed to maintain his pale complexion. I got news for you. This ain't makeup. But anyway, that's pretty much us for now, so on that note, I am Solidus-Skully, keep it new metal, and next time on the Simpsons Hit and Run, well, Bart's pretty much going to conclude his laser gun adventures by talking to Krusty and then, well, Kearney.
Krusty, I've got proof now. See this laser gun?
Well, what do you know? You were telling the truth. You've taught this old clown a lesson. And blah blah blah, etc., stay in school. I just wish you told me before I let them set up those free laser gun stands.
Oh, man. I better get some heavy artillery if I'm gonna take out that much private property. Kearney should have something good.